Hello guys, it's been so long since the last update. I think it was about a month ago now, and I thought I'd share an update because I'm going on holiday in 2 days. I'm gonna go to the Philippines for 3.5 weeks, and I thought now is a good time to get some updates out. So a few things have happened. At the moment, I'm working on three papers for the PhD. One of them's a journal article. That's just good for PhD stuff. So when I get to the final viva at the end of my 3 years, that's sort of more evidence, and I can sort of use that work in my final thesis as well. Um, and then the other two papers, there's the French conference paper, which I've been working on with a colleague. That's been going all right. So we got loads of results, and I'm doing the write up. And that one, it's the deadline hasn't passed yet, but I'm going to keep working on that one while I'm flying over to the Philippines, and then a few days, perhaps at the start of holiday, because there's some things that still need writing up, and some experimental work I need to do tomorrow. So rushing to get that done. The other one is it's a conference in Japan to do with solar sailing. So I thought I'd share a bit more about the PhD because I've been doing some more reflection and why I think more people could be interested in doing PhDs. So I thought of a few points why you'd want to do one. So if you love traveling, if you love meeting new people, if you love working on interesting things, and if you really like flexible hours, then I think a PhD is for you. I can't recommend it enough, and I'm really biased, and everyone's experience is different. I have to keep stressing that point because we all deal with things in different ways. But I've just been reflecting on it again recently, and I think it's so much fun. So I thought I'd share as well how I work and how I plan. Coming up to about two-thirds through my PhD, I thought I'd share how I approach work and dictate to myself the pace of work. So, pretty generally, I have this major timeline in my head from start of the PhD to the end, to the Viva. And I want to make sure I have enough work going that when I get to the end, I have a good fat thesis and I can explain why I chose to do the things that I've done over the 3 years. And I think, technically speaking, the work wise, it makes sense at the moment what I want to do, my current progress, the steps I've taken in the past, and then the ones I want to complete before the end. I think that all makes sense, and there's a nice story there, and I think I know how to explain that to my examiners. But in general, when it comes to the shorter time frame, say like a few months or half a year ahead, thinking about that, what motivates me is purely it's travel. So if I see a conference that seems quite interesting and I think that I've got a good chance of putting a paper in there that aligns quite well with the conference's sort of mission objectives or outlines or the things that they want to focus on, then I'll stick an abstract in there. And then, in a way, my wanting to travel dictates what conferences I go to, depending on where they're located, obviously. And then, depending on that conference, that dictates the type of work that I'm doing. And I think it's sort of two birds with one stone. So these conferences obviously have certain focus or certain specific interests that loads of people go to that conference for. And at the same time, I'm sort of doing research to reflect on their drives. So in a way, it's relevant as well. So not only does the conference get some research or a researcher so like me or loads of other people who have shared interests, technically speaking, but I also get to travel. So it's a win-win on both sides, and it's a double win for me because I do some more research and I get to travel some more. So that's how that's kind of how I view my work and decide on what to do. It's purely based on location of a conference, and if I think I've got a good chance of mixing my work in there and doing something interesting and new as well that no one else has done. So yeah, I think that's what motivates me at the moment. So a few more updates. So yeah, working on three sort of papers at the moment. Hopefully, I get accepted to the Japan one because that one's in January. So the abstract was literally 2 days ago, and I should find out in the coming weeks if it was accepted. And that's a paper with another colleague as well. So yeah, it's quite good to work with other people because it's it's a win-win. There's no problem with it at all because you can split the work up and you get different perspectives and you can reference your own work because you have expertise in that niche and you can see how it can link in. So it makes creating more research or doing things that people haven't done before. That's a message. Doing things that people haven't done before more easy because you're an expert in that area. Also, I should probably say that I'm not expecting to stay in academia. So the actions I'm taking now are with that in mind as well. I don't expect to stay in academia, or at least just in academia. I think I'm trying to look for possible ways at the end of my PhD where I can do some research and some business stuff as well. And I'm not too sure about all the opportunities and the ways I can do that, but I'm going to give it a good go anyway. So another thing about the PhD as well, something that motivates me is that I make the PhD work for me. And I think if you're doing a PhD or thinking about it, you should definitely look at it that way, that you're in charge of the PhD and it's there to help you. It's more personal development in a way. And don't feel in a way obligated or that the PhD is above you. Think of it as a tool and then it's something that gives you control. I think that's quite a useful way to look at things. Also helps if you're optimistic because you don't worry too much about uncertainty, and there is a lot of uncertainty in a PhD, especially at the start. But if you're optimistic and just go with the idea that things will work out, something will come up, and I can work my way through it, then the PhD is really good. It's flexible and there's loads of opportunity, and you just go down this route that you have no idea about. Unlike, say, if I went into a graduate job and there's a very logical and clear path that I could take and working my way up the company ladder. That's in a way very certain and more stable, and some people will prefer that more. But for me, I like uncertainty and improvising what to do, and yeah, well, I think that's okay. So yeah, I just want to give you guys an update because I haven't done it for a month. Hopefully after the Philippines, when I get back and get back into work, I'll be able to do more weekly videos to share more of the experience. And I want to make sure I cover the worst parts as well, the more bad sides of the PhD as I come across them, because I don't want to just share the positives and keep it in a way. It could be biased and misleading. I want to make sure it is fairly presented. But other than that, I wanted to share some motivations and how the work's going and what drives my pace of work. I'd be interested to see what drives other people doing their PhDs because everyone does approach it differently because there's so much uncertainty that a lot of it is down to the actual individual and what drives them. It is, yeah, there's quite a bit of, I guess there's a lot of psychology in it. But yeah, I hope you're having a good time and I'll see you in a few weeks.